Peace and blessings. Happy Saturday. How are you? Wow, we are in some very, very, very dicey astrological weather today. Saturday is the day governed by Saturn, and it sort of makes me laugh to think that I could say happy Saturday because nothing's happy about Saturn, really, until you have really developed yourself and cultivated your level of mastery. Saturn is where we come to develop mastery. So Saturday, it's so fascinating to me how Saturday is like the day in the States where it's like, oh, this is our free day. This is where we get to when I was growing up, it was like Saturday was the day you partied and the day you really broke out of your normal routines. And that was my mindset around it. And now as an astrologer, I realize that Saturday is not that at all. And it's such an interesting thing because our culture aligns us with practices that deplete our energy and drain us and don't truly empower us to be who we really are. And I don't know that it's our culture's responsibility to do that, but if we did teach and educate the citizens of the country in the ways of the cosmos, we'd have a happier nation. We wouldn't have people who are committing suicide at such high rates and drug overdoses and divorces, and all of that stuff wouldn't exist if people really just understood who they were and how they connect to energy. So Saturn, Saturn is the opportunity for us to develop ourselves, to discipline ourselves, to practice, to create structures that will allow us to grow, blossom, flourish, and be who we're here to be. Saturn is currently in a square with Mars, and we are in just really tenuous, painful, difficult energy. And what is being asked of us at this time is to course correct who we are, who we've been, and how we show up. Saturn and Capricorn ask us to build something new. It's about making something. That's the thing about Capricorns, that they make their money. They are committed to their work, and their work ethic is, aligned with what they desire and who they are. And so this is an energy today where you want to look at your life. Like I know yesterday, I've been looking at my life. You guys hear me. Because I've ever told you guys this story. About 13 years ago, I used to live in Leimert Park in Los Angeles, and it's a artsy Black community. And I think I was pregnant, and I was in my kitchen cooking, and I heard a voice, which I do sometimes, that said, "Everything is obsolete." And it was so startling that I was like, and the voice was in my head. I don't want to act like it wasn't, but it wasn't my voice, because I would never say anything like that. And so it said, "Everything is obsolete." And I was like, huh? And then I was like, what do you mean everything is obsolete? And it said, like spoiled, rotten milk. It has to be thrown out. There's nothing else that can be done with it. It's done. And in that moment, because I remember Barack Obama was running for his first presidential election. And boy, did I get swept up in that. Gratefully, I loved it. But, I really understand now what was going on. And everything was obsolete. And so I knew that from that interaction with Source, higher self, I knew that our systems were coming undone. And I knew that our government was going to have to be completely revitalized, reframed, reconstructed. And I understood why, because it had been birthed in this system of slavery and oppression that cannot be sustained any longer. And one of the reasons it can't be sustained any longer, because the people that it has been suppressing, which is really all people, but especially, people in Black bodies, that's just no longer our role any longer. You know, everything serves to further, but that's no longer our role. So knowing that everything is coming undone with Saturn, it's time to see, how do we build something new. We want to build something new. And now Mars is in a square with Saturn, and Mars is the warrior, and it's retrograde in Aries. So you're looking at yourself. Really, the only way to build something new is to start with yourself, to start with your own thoughts, to start with what's really valuable to you and what's really important, and getting clear about what that is. Because the old is done. It is done. It is done. It is done. I can't say it enough. I cannot articulate enough that this structure is coming down. And the only way that I really understand it is because I've studied history. And I know that there were cultures that existed and flourished and thrived, and then they don't exist anymore. They're gone, you know? Like, we've been here for billions of years. So, you know, the world that we live in now didn't exist 500 years ago, didn't exist 1,000 years ago, but there were worlds that did. There were cultures and societies that did exist, and those societies don't exist anymore because they evolved into something else. And that is what we're going through. So all the stuff that we're experiencing, and with the election and, you know, all of this coronavirus, this is not unusual. This is a part of the human cycle, and because we are evolving. And so, but because we're here, we have to make something new, right? We're still here. That's the thing. When I was really first starting this work and it felt like a real crisis inside of me, I would hear my voice say, but you're still here, so you can't give up. And it was almost like, you still got to eat because your body's going to be hungry. You still got to go use the bathroom because your body's going to have to release. You're still here. You can't give up. I was like, what? But it's true. We're still here. We can't give up. So we have to make something. So the moon today is in Cancer, and it's going to be void all day long. The void moon means that we are internal. We are more inside of ourselves, and it's at the first quarter, or the last quarter phase of the moon, when it's a half moon. So go look in the sky and see if you can see the moon. I love when it's a half moon. So this means that we're going to have to make a choice. This is where the rubber meets the road, or the split in the road. And which direction will you go? Which direction will you go? So how do you do this? This is not about asking yourself about a direction. This is about asking yourself about what you really want and what's going on in your life right now that is the higher octave. What's going on in your life right now that would act, a choice that you could make that would actually lift you out of the frequency that you're currently in and into something else new. It could be really simple. It doesn't have to be a big deal, because that's how the universe works. So for me, I have been really clarifying my diet. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to give up sugar for real, for real, for real, for real. You know, and so I'm making a commitment to purifying my body and being loyal to the choices that I'm making, being loyal to myself. And that is going to be enough to level me up. And because this is in Cancer, this energy, go back to the patterns that you started in your childhood. I know for me, when I was a child, I started the pattern of looking outside of myself for saviors. I started the pattern of looking to others for validation. And so that would, you know, if I couldn't get what I needed with another, I would eat sugar. You know, it would satiate me. If I didn't feel loved by someone else, I would eat something that would, you know, that would give me that sense of love or whatever. But it was an illusion. So I'm working to shift that pattern by really just coming into myself, feeling what I feel, allowing it, and then still doing the thing that's nurturing and holistic and what is best for me, even if I feel something that doesn't feel great. The moon today is in opposition to Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, and it's void. So this is a good day to really be alone, honestly. It's the best. Stay at home and be alone is a great day for that. I'm going to take myself to the beach. It's also a good day for the beach if you have, because the moon is in Cancer. So if you have a beach near you, go spend some time in the water or just bathe and give yourself some sweet energy, just some love to, like, feel cared for. It's really important right now that we feel cared for by ourselves, cared for by who you are. So I think that's sort of all I got right now. And oh, please sign up for the Mercury retrograde class. The Mercury retrograde class is going to begin on October 14th. The link is here. We are going to be focusing on our shadow. So we're going to be focusing on the energy around obsessing, shame, guilt, envy, paranoia, secrets, the secrets that we hold deep inside of us, the shame stuff that we hold around our own bodies, our own sexuality, our own sexual nature. If you grew up in a family, like I have a number of clients who are gay and grew up in families where they were shamed because they were maybe young and like a little girl who was more interested in boy things, or a boy who was more interested in girl things, and their family sort of shamed them or cut them down because of who they were organically. And so these are the kind of deep things that you want to be able to heal. Or obsessing, right? That love obsession thing. It's Mercury and Scorpio. I know that's one for me. I've been working on that. I've been talking to you guys about it and clearing out the sugar and doing the body work and doing the work with my friend Jackie Levitt. You can find her here, I believe, who on Instagram, and she does the internal pelvic floor tension release work, where she puts her fingers inside of my vaginal cavity and helps my body release the tension. I literally understand, as a woman, we hold all of our tension from our pain, our disappointment, our sorrows, not only ours, but our mothers and our grandmothers, in our pelvic floor. And that creates depression, sadness, grief, anxiety. And as she's doing this work with me and I'm doing the sugar release, my obsessive thoughts are totally dwindling and going away. And you can do this for yourself. We can all do it. And so that's what we're going to be working on in the Mercury retrograde reset course. How do we release these tense energies and then use the power behind them to create what we actually desire? Because we are energetic beings, especially if you are a melanated being. You have so much energy. If you are a melanated being, you have so much energy and power, and you can feel it and you know it because we radiate, So I encourage you to register for that class. It starts Wednesday. We're going to have Ricky Williams, who's going to be talking about alchemy and transforming the shadow. A beautiful, beautiful woman who her name is pronounced, it's Sitki, Sitki, and she evokes the power of Kali, and she's going to teach us how to really go into those deep places and feel it, and then draw that energy out of it and live in our bodies and make something else out of it, but through our bodies, actually. And then Kelly Lynn Prime and I are going to come. We're going to have 3 live classes and do work to integrate all of the information. So please, please, please register for that. It is going to be fantastic, and it's going to be life transformational, because everything is transformational right now. It's because everything needs to be. So with that, I'm the Moon Mama. Peace and blessings. I love you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And thank you for all who did donations yesterday when I forgot to ask. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.